that everybody can hear and we can get started. All right, so I've got some very, very interesting old friends with us tonight. Gary Afron, Patrick Tuttle, and Rod Ali as well. And these are the Ranking Factory guys. Now, I spoke to Gary earlier today, and when he told me all about this new course and this new service that they've got, and he told me about the results, I knew that I had to get this into a webinar as quickly as possible. So here we are just 19 hours later in a webinar. Okay, so this is a brand new SEO technique. As Gary likes to say, it's the first new SEO technique in a generation. It ranks everything from Amazon to videos to Google My Business pages and sites, websites, or whatever. And also, it can rank national keywords. It's not just a local SEO thing. It can rank national keywords with 50,000 searches within a month on page one. Okay, so it's quite a serious strategy, and I want to get this out to you as quickly as possible. So, Patrick, let me know that you can be heard if you just say hello.
Yep, I can hear you fine.
Right, okay, so I'm not going to do a long presentation, guys. I've got a bad throat right now, so I'm just going to hand it over to Patrick, and he's going to probably introduce Gary and Rod as well. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, all right, cool. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Tony, thanks for having us here on such short notice. Gary puts something out in the rooms and starts a lot of buzz, and then all of a sudden the bees start coming in. So we've been doing this new process for, I'm going to say, almost 3 months. We started it, and it's a unique approach to ranking. And so I'm going to just ask everybody that's here so far in the chat room, how many of you guys use calendars for your bookings, your appointments, and all that? Right? Just give me a 1 in the chat if you use calendars. Okay. Okay. A lot of people are using calendars, right? So here's the next question. Give me a 5 for anybody in here who has actually ever thought of, dreamed of, laid awake at night thinking about how to use your calendar as an SEO tool. Give me a 5 if you have, and give me a 0 if I'm like an alien. What do you think? Lots of zeros, right? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, fortunately for us, Gary, when he lays awake at night thinking of things, he thought calendars is a Google property. Google loves itself. So how can we use calendar to, Helen says she doesn't have any audio, which is probably something on her end. But how can we use calendars to be a SEO tool that you would have an advantage over everybody else in the entire world, because nobody has any clue that your calendar is actually an SEO tool, right? So if you guys give me a 9 if you think that's just a totally alien concept, right? That we could actually take a calendar and create an SEO tool out of it, and it actually works. And we've got gobs and gobs of proof that it works. And this is a done for you scenario. We're not going to ask you to buy any software or anything else. We're going to kind of go through step by step what we do, how we build it, and then we are going to share with you, if you think it's worthwhile for yourself, it's a done for you. We actually will do this 100% for you in your specific niche. Okay, is that fair? Give me a 3 if that's a fair deal. We're going to show you what to do, how to do it, and then we're going to actually do it all for you. Does that make sense? Let me see some 3s if that makes sense to you. All right, Greg, 3. Brian, yes, sir. Awesome. So with that being said, I'm just going to kind of like turn this over to Rod, who's going to run the PowerPoint. Thanks, David and Corinne. Appreciate that. This is totally something that by the time we get done with this, your jaw's gonna drop and you're gonna say, I never, ever, ever thought that this was even remotely possible. So when I say that you guys are just a bunch of the few people that even have ever seen this, I'm not lying. I mean, there's only like 100 or so other people that have purchased this, since we started this just a week ago. It might be a little bit more than that right now. So Tony, you guys are like, right there at the cutting edge of something that is going to be pretty awesome to think of. Now, I'm going to watch your questions as we go through this, and I'm going to come back to the questions later for you guys because it makes more sense for us to go through the presentation. You write your questions down, and then we'll answer all of those at the end. Give me a 7 if that's okay. You guys willing to wait around to the end to get the answers, or do you want us to answer them and interrupt what Gary's trains of thought are? Because we might go into alien then, right? So with that, Rod's with us. Rod's our technical person, guru with the ranking store. And he's going to go ahead and run the PowerPoint. We've never been on this system before, so if it gets glitchy, please give us a little bit of patience and grace. But we will start right now. Thank you, everybody.
All right. For the people that don't know me, I'd like to do a little background first because Tony was my mentor when I started. So we go way back, and I would never achieve what I've achieved if I hadn't met Tony. So I really do appreciate him. So what we're going to do something special that we've never done before. In the bonus offers, for those that stay to the end of the webinar, we're actually going to give you a piece of software that's one of our primary softwares we sell, which is Backlink Factory. We'll be giving away the standard version of it. This is quite a bonus because Backlink Factory is quite a powerful tool in itself. And the other thing that we're going to give away at the end is Keyword Translation Factory, which is a free keyword tool that we give away. So we're going to start and hit the next slide, Ron, please. Okay. This is authority stacked by Google. How many people in the webinar have ever stacked any of the Google properties? And give me a 1 if you know what I'm talking about when I say stack. Maybe a better word would be tiers. Okay.
A lot of ones coming in.
A lot of ones. I like that. No idea. We got a no idea. What we do when we stack properties is we link one property to the next property, to the next property, to the next property. And we're building up what we call authority. And the authority is given by Google. Now, Google properties, let's hit this real close so everybody understands what we're talking about. How many people have ever used a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, a Google Slide, any of those properties that come with your drive? Okay. There we go. So you've used some of these properties. Do we realize that each of these properties, you inherit a DA, which is your domain authority, and your PA, your page authority? Anybody have an idea what those rankings are for any of the properties? Brian, give me a yes. Okay. We got some people to understand. So
well, what's the number? What's the number?
They'll range anywhere from 92 as far as the DA and an average of the mid 40s on your PA.
So DA is domain authority, PA is page authority.
That's correct.
For those who don't know.
Okay. So what happens when you stack those all together in big tiers? Google's going to read all those and carry that weight forward for you. So we're going to give you a few examples today and show you the effect of what we're doing. A lot of tears. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of tears. Yeah.
I like
Well,
that.
like Gary, one of the things, Gary, you and I talk about a lot is to explain this concept is like, I'm sure everybody on here knows what a pressure washer is, right? And so a pressure washer works with a regular garden hose that's got a regular stream of water, but it goes through, the engine and the pressure washer, and it comes out with an itty bitty little hole. And that itty little bit of hole comes out, that water comes out of that hole, and it comes out as pressure pushed through a little hole, which makes it streaming very, very, very powerful. And in some cases, that concept can actually cut steel. So that is what we're talking about here when Gary's talking about stacking, a property on a property on a property. Just think of it as a pressure washer. You're putting your input in as general information, and it's coming out, as a laser targeted pinpoint piece of content that's going directly to what you want to rank. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody give me at least a 1 if you understand now what that means. I should see about 31s in here. Everybody? And if you don't, let me know right now, because I want to make sure that it's clear, because it's extremely important what you're going to see that you understand. David says 1. Absolutely. And just right. Greg,
let's put an analogy that everybody can put an image in your mind. Think of a fire hydrant that's opened up going through a straw. That's the mental image that I'd like to give to you, is a fire hydrant being pushed through a straw.
I think Rob's got it.
Yeah. How about we move to the next screen?
It fitted for us to share with you in the email swipes and everything else a little bit about if grandpas can do this, and anybody that's on this call can do it as well. And it doesn't take a lot of age for somebody to do this, because Randy is brand spanking new. I mean, Randy, you tell your story a little bit. How much of this did you know 5 months ago?
Well, I came into the idea of doing SEO with zero experience. It was something that I avoided because I couldn't figure out why somebody would want to wait 6 months, why a client would pay somebody, for 6 months before they ever started seeing results. And that was my experience with it. I had avoided it. I had a partner I did some work with that he was doing some of it, very limited, just because it was so time consuming. I got involved because my son had hired some people to get him ranked in his GMB as well as his website. He's a dentist, and he owns 4 dental practices in West Michigan area. And the best they were able to do is get him ranked number 9 in one of his practices. And they were supposedly the best of the best. And they were brought to him by his CPA, who had a pretty good working relationship with them. And he paid them almost 6 figures to help him building his websites. He was doing a rebuild of all his websites, as well as doing ranking, or trying to rank them in the GMB. The net result was, when I got involved with Patrick and Gary, when I got involved, they said they kind of had a silver bullet, which was what we're going to show today. And I got excited about that. Convinced my son to let us experiment on one of his dental practices that he had just opened about 18 months ago. And this other company was not doing anything with that particular practice. So he said, well, let's have it and see what you can do. And the rest is kind of history, which we'll share as we go along. When I got involved with these guys, like I said, I was new, wanted to get my son's site ranked for the GMB. Just followed what I'm going to show you today. The result of that was that we got him ranked in 30 days. He got pretty excited about that because it was a new site and he needed about 23 patients a month in order to hit the break-even point. And he was running between 20 and 25 patients a month within this particular practice, doing all the other things that they were doing to try to bring in business. And what we ended up doing is the following 30 days, we went from about 20, I think the month before it was 24. And anyways, the following month, we jumped it up to 47 new patients.
Wow, it's almost double.
Yeah, it really was. And I'll explain where we are today when I hit that part. The result of that was he said, this is working out pretty well. Why don't you take a look at doing it for the rest of our 4 practices? Because the guys that have it aren't doing anything. And besides that, we did get to give him we started taking over his total of his 4 practices, and we'll get in that then in a few minutes. So turn it over to you, Patrick.
Anyway, what we want to do is give everybody a special bonus that we used to start with, Keyword Translation Factory. And so everybody can just click on that link, copy it down. And it's a tool that we use to help us with a lot of the titles and a lot of HTML that we're doing, and just a lot of tools in there. But it's a free system, and it helps, with creating titles and all kinds of different things. So I'm not going to go into it, but there's the link.
Work with Randy, and Patrick worked with Randy on the side, kind of to help him out. So what ended up happening is they went from page 3 to number 3 in under 30 days. So Randy worked at that point. His son decided to let him take all 4 locations and rank it, because he did more in 1 month than they had done in a year and a half. At that point, Randy and I worked a little bit with the quad stacks, a little bit with Backlink Factory and POI. So what ended up happening at the 5-month point, now once you put this picture in your mind, how hard this would be for most people. At the 5-month point, Randy ranked number 1 for 42 keywords. Now, that's pretty darn impressive in itself, but there's a little more to the story. What had happened is Randy's son had hired 5 new dentists to take the overflow, because they were getting 47 new patients per location per month, new patients each month. To handle that, the problem that they had, even with hiring 5 new dentists, they were 3 months backlogged. In other words, a new patient had to wait 3 months just to get in the office, and they still have that problem right now. Now, can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
I can see the PowerPoint, but I cannot see the questions now.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Because you went full screen, that's fine.
All right. We've kind of covered Randy's story, and we'll go on a little deeper. If Randy comes on, he can tell it to you. But I want everybody to understand, Randy's 74 years old. If Randy can do what he did in 5 months, every one of you that's hearing this webinar should be able to do at least the same amount of progress that he's made. So if you could show an increase of $80,000 a month in your son's business in 3 months backordered, there isn't a local client out there that wouldn't jump all over trying to hire you. Will we all agree with that? So we're going to move on to Brenda's story. Brenda made the images for me that you see in the beginning, but I want to share this story. What Brenda was doing is she's an Amazon bookseller. She does some Etsy too, but she's basically an author. And she beat out the #1 niche in her book. She was the first one other than myself that ever did a quad stack. And she did a very simple one. And we're going to be sharing with you what it actually did. But she pushed out a major, big-time company with a lot of budget and pushed them down to second. In her mind, that was the equivalent of a theme park beating out Disney. So we just want to put that image into your mind, how powerful what we're going to be showing you really is. And we kind of already covered Randy's story, so we're going to bypass this. and we're going to come to Dan K. And we actually named a quad stack after Dan K. And we're going to show you some of his images in a few minutes. But he started creating a calendar stack, and then he modified it. And it was for a national client in the legal niche. He won't tell us what his niche is. Okay. But after tweaking the calendar to be very, very deep instead of just 4 deep, it started taking off at a really, really steady pace. At the time we put this together, he was on page 2 for 2 keywords, totaling 50,000 searches. By the time he got to the 3rd week, he'd reached page 1. And by the time he reached the 4th week, he was number 1. Now that's for a national keyword. In fact, right up here, he tells the rest of the story.
We lost your screen for a minute, Gary. It's coming back.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. So Dan K says, keep pumping. This shit works. Pardon my language. I'm just reading what's there. Let me know when you can see the screen, please.
Can see it now.
Okay. So this campaign was built in a month. It took 2 hours, and Dan never touched it since. He's going to add some more keywords, and we'll show you that in a little bit. So we're going to go on to the next screen, and we're going to show you what happened in just 3 days. Okay? How many people think you could rank something in 3 days? Can you give me a 1 in the chat? Give me a 2 if you know you can.
You just told them they could.
Oh, I ain't said nothing yet. I said if you think you can, give me a 1. If you think you can.
I think I can name that tune in 2 words.
Okay. Okay. Now, I want you to look up here. This is a 3-day campaign. See, March 17th, March 20th. March 17th, this is what you had. A lot of 7s, 3s. There's 1 1 in the entire grid. That's it, 1. If you look over here after 3 days, the 1s are starting to all fill in now. The 4s are turning into 3s, and it's starting to move. By the time this gets to be 30 days, the bulk of this will be number 1s.
Gary, can you hear me?
Yes, Rod.
Pretty sure it's me. It's my presentation that's showing now. So
It is.
you have to let me know when you want to move screen again. All right.
I'm moving it.
Yeah, but we only see rods.
You only see rods?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You're supposed to just continuing to sit there and say loading. So I loaded mine up and.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Well, we're gonna move. I'm gonna move to the next screen, please.
Okay.
And this is Nigel, the image you just saw after 3 days. And when he started, he wasn't a true believer. But with the impressive change in 3 days, he's a convert. That's his testimony. So we're going to move to the next screen, please, number 10.
Sure.
We're going to have a distinct advantage over the competitors. They won't know how you're doing it. This is Patrick's little saying right here. Google loves Google. Would everybody agree to that Google makes rules for everybody else and makes different rules for itself?
100%, our man says. 100%.
Okay. Authority Quad Stack has never been revealed before. The marketplace has no clue what you're doing. Even if you right-click View Source, you can't see what's behind the initial part of it. It just can't happen. It remains hidden. Okay. Do you think that would give you an advantage?
Next
screen, please. This is basically a new person that just came on with us. Came in from one of the one of the last webinar, actually. So this testimony is very, very new. And she did runs of points of interest and backlink factory at first, which is a couple tools that we have. And I want to go to the next screen and we'll show you the results. It took 1 to 2 weeks to see the results. The jump is dramatic and continues daily for all the clients that they did that for. Nothing fancy, quad stack and one run of backlink factory. And it's a nationwide business. So let's go over some of the Dan K proofs. We're going to go to screen 13, please. Now, this right here is a 24,000 a month search keyword and a 20,000. The change is up 24 and up 12. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Position 74, position 32. They started at 98 and 44. This is where it starts to really move. Organic keywords, 132 at plus 40. There's your chart moving up. Next screen, 15.
I'm on 15.
Okay. How about more national keywords? 617 keywords at plus 87. Next screen, please, 16.
Yeah.
And this is an overview where new keywords were added to try and increase what was being done. And you can look over to the right and see the change if it's new. If it's not new, you can see the change. Plus 83, plus 15, plus 40, plus 4, plus 40, plus 5. You can see the keyword volume on these keywords and see what he added. How about do we have any video marketers in here? Can you give me a 1 if you do video? Next screen, 17, please.
Charles loves video, man. He loves video. David loves video. Stevie loves video. Steve-O loves video. Yeah.
I'm going to give you the story behind this one, even though I think it's another screen. This is actually a person. If I give you their name, you'll know exactly who they are because they do a lot of courses and software themselves. Personally, that this video was 2 years old. He did it for his son. He put it up and left it alone and never touched it. He put a quad stack to it. The first day, it jumped up, and you can actually see his name, Dragon Trainer Matt, there. It hit 15 in the first day. By the next day, it was number 2. And by the third day, it was number 1. After 2-year-old video that had never had anything done to it. Number 18, please. There you are, where it's number 1. Does it work for videos? Yes. It works for Amazon? Yes. It works for anything, really. 19, please. We're going to kind of cover over what we're actually doing. Let's make sure everybody see the screen real clear. Notice that these are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is what we call a single stack. In the number 1 event is the only place that there's a target URL. And let's stop there and make sure everybody understands what I'm talking about. How many of you understand what a target URL is? Can I get a 1 if you do and a 2 if you're not sure?
So far, everybody's 1s. They pretty much know what a target URL.
Okay. So
Siegfried, wait a minute. Siegfried needs it. He's a 2. So real quick explanation. What's your target URL?
The target URL is what your calendar is pointed to. That target can be a buffer property or it could be a direct URL to what you're trying to point to. Now, in most cases, I'm going to recommend a buffer because of the amount of power that you're sending. Remember the hydrant running through a straw. We want to run this power through a straw. So what we're going to do now, I want to tell you the advantage of this. Do we have anybody that has local clients? Give me a 1 if you do local.
Yep. 1. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Has anybody had a local client? You ranked them got them where you were supposed to get them. And they said, well, we decided not to be using you anymore, paying you. Since we're already number one, we don't need you. Anybody had that experience happen to them?
Yep. I actually had it happen to me today.
Did you? Okay.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
here's the beauty of what we're going to be doing. And if I were doing this on a live calendar, I could show you that we could edit this one target URL and change it to anything we want. And all the power that we created can be moved to somewhere else. So what is going to happen? And I promise you, this is what will take place. You got your client to number one, and his phone started ringing, and he's doing business. And when you shut him off from all this power that you have here, in about 2 weeks, that client's going to call you back up, and they're going to say something along this line. Well, I talked it over with my partners, and we decided we can budget. We still could budget in what your services. We decided not to get rid of you. And I have a patent answer for that person. And my answer is this. Well, Mr. Smith, that's great, but I already replaced you with another client and we're fully booked right now. In order to take you on, I've got to hire 2 or 3 more people and train them. And I can't get them for the same price I used to have the labor. It's a premium. I got to have at least 15% or 20% more just to take on any more client. Do you know that client is never going to leave you again? Because he don't want to pay that premium for doing what he just did. Would everybody agree that's it? Once you lose that telephone ringing, they're going to call you back up?
We can pretty much guarantee it, right?
I promise you. So let's move on to slide 20, please. That looks like 19 to me. 20
Go to
is
the next one.
This is 19.
Okay, let's go to 20. Okay. Now, how we build these is the share link from number 1 becomes the target for number 2. The share link for number 2 becomes the target for number 3. And we rinse and repeat. I want to share this with you, what's going on, because there's something that you're not going to notice right away. So if we go to slide 21, please. Share link for number 5 is the rinse and repeat the same way, but notice this calendar says January 2023, right? If I move it into the next week, this is auto repeating to infinity. It happens forever and ever and ever unless you close it, shut it, delete it. This action will go on forever. We'll all be somewhere else, and this will still be clicking, guys. This is an infinity link. Does everybody grasp that?
Infinity forever, right?
Forever. Now, this particular one you are looking at, we're running this Monday through Friday. We could run it 7 days a week if we want, but we chose to make it Monday through Friday because most businesses are open Monday through Friday. All right. So we're going to move on to a different type of stack on 22. This is what I call my triple stack. So this runs 15 deep. Now, everybody notice that some of these are faded on the side. Why would you think that would be faded on the side? I'll tell you what, let's have a little fun. I know we've had a rough webinar and some things didn't work right. So we're going to make a little fun with it. If the first person that can figure out why these are all faded, we're going to give away, what do you say we give away 100 coins, Patrick?
Sure. 100 coins.
Now, tell them what 100 coins are worth so we know what we're doing here.
Yep. Each coin is worth $1.50 towards anything in our store that we have available. So that'd be $150 of value towards any of the products that we have, except this.
Can't use them today.
Except this.
Yeah. Okay. So, anybody want to guess? We'll give you a couple minutes, and we are going to we're going to throw a couple things out there that might give you a clue. In a calendar, even
Rob,
if
let's see. Oh, let's see. Rob said already linked, and Steve-O said historical link passed, and then Corinne says they're canceled.
Well,
They're kind of like all three right.
I think Steve-O is closest.
yeah, Steve-O's closest, but
They've already passed.
It's already passed. It's a past event. It's already taken place. So Google is no longer going to read any content that it has. At the same time, because it's an event, there's no such thing as duplicate content, duplicate events. It can be exactly the same, but it's taking place at a different time. So Google sees it as its own single entity. Is everybody real clear on that? Give me a 1 if you're pretty sure you understand this. Give me a 2
Yes.
if I.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to go on to links and coupons, but we're going to show you at the same time on 24, we're going to paste that in. So we have our coupons into a doc and make this easier for you. So
Yeah, it's all the links to both the done for you course and the buying the course on how to do it. You go to put this in the chat.
what do you say we start dealing with some questions?
Oh, now it's showing up as an image. Not. I'll type it into the chat.
Okay.
I got it.
It's got to be. It is case sensitive, so you've got to make the THQSW all
It is
caps.
all caps. Yep, we got it. It's in there.
Now we promised everybody we'd go back and do all the questions, and we're going to also we want to add one more thing in here. We want to add our email for the people that stayed on the webinar. We made some promise of some of the things we'd take care of for you, right? So
This is what I've now moved the document over to the screen, but if you follow that link, it would take you to the document, and you can just click on links there to go buy what you want. And make sure you pay attention to the discount codes. They'll save you 25% off normal price.
yes, we want to be real careful of that. Okay. I got in there our email for those that stayed on the webinar. There's a free software for you. Any questions at all?
No, I don't see any questions, Gary.
That's really strange. We got somebody typing, so let's see if we can answer.
What do
Michael,
we do?
it's both. We have both available. There's a course and there's a done for you service. And actually, you'll find this very odd that a lot of people that buy the course also buy done for yous. It's been quite a ride for the last 2 weeks.
And some people go right to the pro course, and that's great. It's got 20 videos of how to do what we do, but there are some things that are in the basic course that may not be apparent to you if you're new at using calendars as an SEO tool.
Michael, if for those, what do you do with the email? Just write us and say you were on the webinar to the end, and we'll make sure we'll send you a link to get the software with a license.
Marcus is asking, where's the pricing for the DFY service? Right there.
When you click this link right here, this one that says PXL /PO, that will take you to the buy page for the DFY. And then when you add the coupon code THDFY, and click on apply, it'll take 25% off of that price.
Randy made it. Does anybody want to hear Randy's story personally before we leave the webinar? And I want to address one question: is what do you need? What tools do you need? You need to have a Gmail account.
So I'm showing now the DFY page, and it has 4 different kinds that you can buy, different levels of stack. And the last one is what we call the Dan K special. That's $3.99. And when you apply the coupon, when you click here and apply a coupon, which was DFY, I believe. That was for the course, but for the DFY, it's
Yeah,
THDFY.
gave it a discount.
You can see it worked.
Yeah. Can we unmute Randy for a minute, guys?
Had been trying to rank his GMB properties for year and a half, and the best ranking he was able to get was a ranking of number 9 for one of his 4 dental practices in West Michigan. So I talked to him, and he said, well, why don't we take this one new office that we just opened about a year ago, and they haven't even touched it yet, and let's see what you can do. So we started working on it for about 30 days. I talked to Gary and Patrick. They kind of gave me some instructions what I should be doing. And we ended up, I executed that during the first 30 days. And after the first 30 days, which was actually less because it took me about a week just to be learning the processes, net result was we got that particular business ranked in the Google 3-pack for dental implants, and it's still there today. You can go in and do all the searches, and which I would normally show you in real time, but the sites are continuing to rank today. What ended up happening, which was a surprise to me, especially when we began, was when I was checking out the rankings for dental implants, which was the keywords we were targeting for, which is a very difficult keyword to rank for. I found the site ranking for as number 1 for dentist, for best dentist in town, or best dentist, best dentist near me. All these other keywords that we had not even targeted were now being ranked number 1 and number 2. I mean, it was just insane. In fact, I sent a message over to them. It just blew my mind. And so we then expanded it out into his other 4 practices. And but I'll back up just for a second. The first 30 days after it ranked number 1, because we wanted to see what difference this would make in terms of booking client booking patients for him. He was averaging about 23 calls a month, and in that first so it'd be from 30 to 60 day period, that had bumped up to 47 calls. So we pretty well doubled it, which was just he was happy because he was booking it, getting booked. As a matter of fact, since we have been doing this, he's got one practice that we are talking about now. It's been several months ago, but I happen to know it's still true because my sister tried to get a appointment with him, and she says I couldn't even get my teeth cleaned until June. But right now he is, as of a conversation I had with him last Sunday on Easter, he's looking for 3 more dentists. Dentists don't like to be booked out any further than 10 days for patients. As I just said, he just continues to be booked out 3 months in advance. Their business has gone up a little over $80,000 a month for this one practice. So they're on target for an additional $1 million a year, with the very high profit margin included in there. And all those rankings have continued to hold. We've just been expanding on it, since that 60-day period as we've gone forward. The results he has had just been spectacular. And I know we've shared that in the room with other people, and it's fun watching other people get results even faster than what I'm getting. So that's kind of my story.
Well, that's because you were the trailblazer, and you figured out what was working, and then within the Skype rooms and the chat rooms, and same thing with like Tony does, is share that information with people. It's we're what we learn, we share. What you learn, you share, and everybody's in the room helping each other, which is really great. You're not just left on an island by yourself to try to figure this out. So that's what's really great about what we're doing.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm involved with about three different mastermind groups. And they say they're very active. They don't even hold a candle to what's happening in the group that with Patrick and Gary and Rod. I mean, their groups are so active. People are sharing, helping one another out. It's just it's completely different than any other of the masterminds I've been involved with. And I've learned so much more than I have in the other math.
Yeah. They're asking how big is your town? I mean, anybody can rank anything in a dinky little town. The Grand Rapids and Grand Haven area is not necessarily really dinky.
Yeah, Grand Rapids area is not dinky. The Muskegon area is not dinky.
Smaller.
When you're looking at like any town, you've got all the suburbs and everything around the area. So. You're looking at in the case of the Muskegon area and that we're ranking for, you've got an area of probably about 150,000 people, 170,000 people. Grand Rapids, over 1 million people. But the thing is, like, I took another client that's not my son, and we did the same thing for him. Now, he had already been ranking for, because I was working with another guy who had done a pretty good job of getting them ranked. But we took them to, I think it took us about 60 days, and we had them ranking for 181 keywords in the top 3. I had 2 of his sites ranking. He has 3 sites. And the 3 sites are ranking. In fact, I talked to him, when was it? About a week ago. And he said he's got all 3 sites ranking 1, 2, and 3. And they're out in the Des Moines area. And they're a contractor, and they just, and I forgot his crazy number of keywords, but, we're producing for him leads on a daily basis, anywhere from 15 to 20 leads a day, which isn't shabby. So
I will take that, right?
Yeah, and his average job is about just under $15,000. So,
Randy,
yes,
can you tell them how many pages of notes you've taken by being in our group?
Okay. One of the things with the Skype groups, unfortunately, there's so much information that's coming across, and you can't go back and get it in Skype too easily. So what I do is I copy notes, and I'm pulling it up right now just to see. As of yesterday, I'm at 164 pages of notes. So I'm only taking the really good stuff. That's how much really good stuff has been there since, I've been involved with these guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me share the screen for a second before we go.
Sure.
Randy, you can keep talking, Randy. It's okay.
Let me just jump in. Let me just jump in for a second. I've been taking some notes as well, but I've tried to simplify this. And the easiest way for me to simplify this is what I would do. Okay. I would get the course and understand how this is done. And then I would sell that done for you service to order and charge monthly for it. It's almost like a white label service you're buying then. Okay. That allows you to focus on sales. And that way, you're charging monthly for a one-time cost. And that way, you can focus on making sales. All you're thinking about is, how do I get customers? So get it done for you and just get the job done and focus on making sales, making contacts, outreach, getting testimonials, focus on sales. That will work.
Well, and exactly, Tony, that's kind of like why we put it together this way. So many times people are just selling you stuff and you don't know what you're getting. You don't know how it's working or anything else. And so we want everybody to learn the course, take the course, because eventually, if you do that, even after we do it a few times and you keep ordering them for your customers and your clients, we fully anticipate that by taking the course, you're going to kind of learn, how to do this. And that's great because we want you to learn how to do this. And that's why Gary spent all the time with the course and with the videos and putting it all together with the step-by-step. But listen, let's be honest with each other. We all know that when we buy these things and we have all the great intentions to do them, very few of us, and there's going to be exceptions, but very few of us literally ever get to the point of finishing and doing what we bought. How many of you guys, give me a 1 if you would agree with me on that? I know there's going to be some that don't, but we all do it. We all do it. So that's why we built it this way, so that you could do the two things at once. You can get something done right away, literally within 5 to 7 days. Listen, we build these by hand. There is no software. Understand that, okay? These are all 100% built by hand. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, to do that. But at the same time, as we're doing that and you are going through the course, it will make sense to you then. If you just buy a car, you have no idea how to fix it, right? If you buy a radio, all I know is how to turn it on, right? But if you get the stacks and you see them working and you have the course and now you really, are becoming a mechanic and you're the builder, you're the creator of this, right? And so that's why, one night Gary woke up in a sweat, just screaming out the top of his lungs, we got to build a course. We got to build a course. And he has spent, how many videos are in the course on the video side, Gary?
Well, there's the basic and there's the pro. The pro has 21 videos.
Yeah.
And most of the videos are 30 to 45 minutes long.
Right.
So there was a lot of time involved in putting the course together.
So let me ask you guys another question, right? There's 21 videos. How many times have you bought something where there's 21 videos, but the first 4 are OTO 1, the second 4 are OTO 2, the next 4 are OTO 3? By the time you get through the funnel, what I call toilet paper marketing, you don't have enough toilet paper to wipe your butt because you just spent all your money on all these OTOs, right? So, Gary and I decided they're all going to be at one time. Just you get them all. We're not going to be parsing these things out and trying to, really stretch out your dollar. We want you to have the knowledge and to get into it. And the beautiful part of it is, Randy, who you just heard, seriously, I really, really, really want you to understand and think in your mind, is Randy telling us the truth or is he just telling us another story? One. Come on. How many people believe what Randy's telling you? Okay. So that's why we brought Randy on here. Here's a really cool thing about Randy. He's in the Skype room with you guys. And he answers more questions in the Skype room than I do. Not more than Gary, because Gary created the course. But you got the guys that are in the room that are actually helping you create and understand what it is that you're creating, because they've already done it. How cool is that? Literally, how cool is that? We can show you the Skype room and it would be amazing. But some of you guys have already bought. You could go right into the Skype room and you can check and see what's going on. Okay. So that's why I want to just bring to your attention, that this is real. This isn't, a WSO that everybody else is out there selling, it's our private Skype room, Greg. You get into it when you buy. Okay. So I just want to reiterate that because like what Tony does, his stuff is authentic. His stuff is real. He teaches you, he doesn't just say, buy it. He teaches you how to use it, right? And so that's what we're doing here. It's a little different than what you're used to watching on webinars. Everybody's like giving you 30 minutes of who they are, why you should deal with them. Tony vouched for us. That's all we have to say. And our stuff works. And it's been working for what, Tony, like almost 6 years now, right?
Yeah.
Since you first started, working with us and with Gary, right? So
yeah,
that's all I have to say, in terms of this. And if we don't have a 14-day trial, because hey, listen, we're building it ourselves, right? David has a question. Tony, I was wondering not so much where to market, but the actual offer. I see reciprocating principles rank first and charge $5,500 to $1,000 a month to double their calls. Anyway, that was a question directed to you, Tony.
Well, I'm not doing local marketing. I might pick up some things when we do the local workshops. Right now, you just released a free mini course about how to do local workshops where you can earn $5,000 per day. This would be a perfect upsell.
Actually, I think Randy could address it probably as good as anybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I am in the local market. In fact, I'm specializing right now with dentists for dental implants. We're doing the work for dentists, and we're charging $3,000 a month. You have to understand that a dentist who's doing implant dentistry, if we can show him how to increase his business to $80,000 a month, which we can, that's just a drop in the bucket for them, so it goes back to, can you, depends on the market that you're in, but it takes the same amount of work to do it in a market that you're charging somebody $3,000 or somebody $1,000. So I think, looking at where you want to market, your niche becomes relatively important.
Right.
When I started out with it, and I've since changed, but I originally started out with local saying I would rank you in three pack for 30 days before I'd ever charge you. And now I don't do that. I'll guarantee that they get in a 3-pack, but I don't go 30 days any longer. They need to pay up front.
One of the ways you could do that, and what we've done in the past, because remember, listen, what Gary said before. Remember, we turned the fire hose off if somebody leaves you. So what if you go to pick the number 5 guy in your local area, in your niche, and he's not in the 3-pack? He's number 5. How much traffic is he getting as number 5? Everybody, give me your answer. How much traffic is a number 5 in the 3-pack getting? When somebody does a search, from 0 to 100%, how much is he getting?
Think dead bodies.
Not a lot. 0, right? Near 0, maybe 10. Okay. So think about this strategy for a minute. And maybe this comes a little bit later. You don't want to do it right now because, what we're doing. But eventually, once you take the course and learn to do this, here's the beautiful part. You can take that number 5 guy. You never call him. You never talk to him. You never do anything. You run a quad stack. You build it. You do the whole thing, right? And you make a video of the whole thing. When you first searched him on the Google in the 3-pack, and he was number 5, number 6, number 7, number 4, whatever it was. And then you build your quad stack, and then once that quad stack is done, and you take, like the Backlink Factory basic that we're given as a bonus, you start backlinking the quad stack with Google backlinks, and you now move him into the 3-pack. Once that happens, Charles, Rob, David, Steen, what is the next thing you're going to do? Come on, guys, tell me the next thing you're going to do when you rank him in a 3-pack, but you've never talked to the guy yet.
1 ringy dingy, 2 ringy dingy.
Is your name Rob, Charles, Dree, or David, or
I couldn't resist.
I know. But David's got it right. Charles has got it right. You're going to call him up and say, hey, Gary, I just wanted to let you know I was looking for your business. I wanted blank, blank, and I didn't see you in there, but I saw your reviews, thought that you were a good company, but the reason you weren't getting any calls, you weren't in the 3-pack, right? So what I'd like you to do is check your browser. Where do you rank today? Okay. When he sees that he's in the 3-pack and he has seen his phone starting to ring, how much more can you charge now than you could have charged if you trying to get him to buy your service at the beginning and they didn't know you? You didn't have any proof. You had nothing. So what do? You go from $2,000 a month to $750 because you want a sale, right? And this is exactly what kind of Randy was talking about. Now, when you take that and you're in front of him and you say, look, you're in the 3-pack. Now you're getting calls. Who do you think got you there? I did. How much are you going to pay? $2,500 a month. You see how that all comes to play? Does that make sense to everybody? It didn't cost you anything but a little bit of time to prove what you could do. Everybody's sick and tired of buying on the promise. That's what Randy's talking about. Don't give them a promise, give them the results, and then they pay you double. Does that make sense to everybody? Is that a great philosophy? To increase your income and to get more clients? Do the work first, prove who you are, right? And then how in the bloody blazes are they ever going to say no when you've already ranked them? And if they do, guess what do? All right. Here's another bonus question. 50 coins. If they say no, what will you do? What are you going to do if they say no? Okay.
Rob found it.
Okay. Rob's got it. Change the direction of the fire hose. You stop it. Then you point it to somebody else. You do the same thing until you finally get somebody that's wise enough to pay. So Rob, you send an email over to Rod, R-O-D.
Actually, that was the last thing I was going to say on this webinar. Is the fastest and best way to get support is to reach out to me on Skype, and my Skype ID is Rally or Rally RALLEY 136. That's my Skype ID. I put it in the chat a couple of times.
I think this right here is what I call an authority doc. Notice that's from YouTube. And this one, I don't know which one this is. Take a look at why we call this an authority doc.
Wait a minute. I don't know that you should share that. They might have to go get the pens.
Yes. So here's my question. I'm going to go back to the calendar. And you notice all these attachments. There's a keyword file. There's 4 what we call authority docs. One is Wikipedia. One is YouTube. One is Google News, and one is Google Scholar. Why do we call these authority docs?
Anybody have an answer why they're authority docs? Stacking authority. There you go, Armand. Exactly, bud.
Well,
and relevancy. Relevancy. Remember, relevancy is the key.
Well, Chuck's close, but they don't own Wikipedia.
I know.
Google determined that these are considered authorities, trusted pages. So think about how you were taught to power up a website. You linked a keyword. You linked over to maybe an article in Wikipedia, right? Is that correct? Everybody agree with that concept? High quality links. Well, think of it this way. Instead of a single article, we're going to link to 200 or 300 links of authority with citations on them. Everybody understand what a citation is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're using the power Google gave us and told us how to use without them ever telling us how to use it, because nobody does. You're looking at something that nobody has ever done before until just recently. You're looking at a brand new territory and a lot of power. now that you see the back end, are you starting to grasp why this is so powerful? Does that help? Or am I getting confused? Am I getting confusing to you guys?
Well, look, I got a question. Tony's been around a lot longer than we have, right? So I'm sure Tony understands because he's built so many things that utilize these ideas and concepts. But Tony, just yes or no, have you ever seen anything built like this that's a unique product that nobody else knows about?
Yeah, it's pretty unique. It's definitely unique.
Definitely unique, right?
Oh.
So you guys, you guys have the privilege of being one of the very first to have this, and it's only going to get better. I already knew Tony was a genius, but wow, I'm at SEO Genius Academy, according to Chuck. Awesome, bud. And like really good wine, they say it gets better with age. We know the price gets better. I'm not sure it gets any better to drink, but it certainly goes up in value. And what Randy was sharing earlier, utilizing the quads and putting all this mixture together, Rob says it's mind blown, right? So we're happy to bring this to you guys first. There's other people that have had and done this already within our group and another group that did it. So, I mean, you guys are like right at the cutting edge of nobody knowing what. If you go and try to explain this to somebody, they're going to look like you're an octopus or an alien. Like you just came out of Mid-Journey AI, baby. Open till Sunday night.
Yes.
Right.
David, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Where do the software integration files come from? Are you talking about
this is all done by hand.
Right.
It's all manually done. There was no software involved.
Oh, he's talking about the links in the keyword.
Oh, okay. Those are all Google Docs, and how these were created. We cover in the course with real depth, but the links all come from either YouTube, where we were keyword specific. Okay. So let's, in this case right here, what you're looking at was an Adobe genuine software. So that was the keyword. Okay. So if I go to Google News and I search that, or Scholar or YouTube or what have you, I just simply use a free extension. If you look up here on my screen, there's a link gopher up there. Okay. Anybody familiar with link gopher?
Well, very simply, what link gopher does, guys, is if you go on a page, like you're on, YouTube, and it's got 75, videos on the front page of YouTube, you just type in link, put your link gopher on, and it extracts all the links automatically for you. Okay. So it's a real simple way of getting a lot of authority links, like in seconds.
You want me to do a real quick demo of that? Tony's really going to start to get tired here pretty quick, so we don't have much time. We need to wrap up. But if you want, I'll make one quick demo of how we get those links.
Anybody want to see how it works?
Go ahead, guys. Don't worry, man.
We're gonna go to Google Scholar. Okay.
But right now, we just see your calendars.
I may have to go back and authorize quit sharing this one and share the page. I've already got it.
Okay.
I just had to share the right screen. Okay. In Google Scholar, you can do articles or case law. So let's play with case law for a second. That's my favorite. And we're going to do, let's do injury law, and we'll search it. Now, I want to show you something. We're going to include the citations. Everybody see that?
That's a little small, so you might have to point it out.
Right over here is include citations, and it's checked.
So what a citation means, though, is that there's an article that's been repurposed by hundreds and hundreds or 10 people or whatever. It's repurposed the document. So that's a citation.
Okay. And citations are really valuable for local stuff. So I'm going to go to Link Gopher, and I'm going to extract all the links. Now I want to show you this because you got referring domains as well as links. So we got Google, we got Scholar, and we got Google Accounts. See that?
We only see the front page of Google Scholar.
And we'll go to Link Gopher. Okay. Everybody see that?
Not yet. We're loading up. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Go to the top.
Once I've caught all this, I'm going to go open a brand new doc, and I'm going to paste this into my doc. I'm going to name it by the keyword and where it's from. So I'm going to go Scholar Injury Law, so I know exactly where it came from. That's how simple this is right there.
So literally what he just did on any site that you are on, doesn't matter, any site, you have that little link Gopher extension. It will pull all of the URL links from anything on the page that you are on. So think of it this way. Is Wikipedia an authority site? Anybody? Is Wikipedia an authority site? Yes. At least, yep, 3 people know that it's an authority site. Awesome. So if you have a plumber, as an example, guys, and you go to Wikipedia and you just type in plumbers or plumber, doesn't matter what city, in Wikipedia, okay, and then you take that link Gopher and you extract every single link on Wikipedia. Are you getting a vision here? And then you take all those links and put them into a sheet. And then you take that sheet and you put it into an attachment on your Google Calendar. It's
Link
called
Gopher.
Link Gopher, like the little animal gopher, right? Light bulbs, right? Booyah!
How many people feel like that you learned something here today?
Right. Tony always, for years and years, is giving you value after value after value. And Gary learned from Tony. I've been learning from Tony for years and years. So, Tony, you think we're following well within your teaching and your mentorship?
Again, sorry.
I say, do you think we're following well within your mentorship of giving value?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's good value. There's stuff that works, which is really important. I think what people need to take away is how to use it, how to simplify it, and how to use it so that they can monetize it, so that they can build something that's scalable. That's what you're offering. There's something that's scalable because of the done for you service.
Yep, exactly. So, well, thank you guys. You know, we've been here a little over an hour. So, are there any? All right. Any last questions? We'll spend 3 or 4 more minutes answer any last questions, and then how many guys have already decided to pick this up? And we're going to see you in our Skype group. There's 32 people here. We should have 32 new people in Skype. The price is right. The teaching is great, and you can't go wrong. Any questions? How do we access the backlink software? Great question. It should be delivered to you through the form. Once you fill it out, you get into the Google document. Rod is the Skype link, is the link in the Google document for them. If not, you'll get a link to buy it, but you'll get a coupon code for free, and then you'll be able to buy it for free and then download it. And there's training that it's very, 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 very simple. Very simple. Your 5-year-old kid could do it. We made that one very, very, very simple. Henry, the last part was better than the first part anyway. So, all right. If there are no other questions, we thank you for taking your time out of your day to be with us. And we hope you learned something that you didn't know before you came. And if you did learn something, then we did our job in helping you along with your career and your income. And that's our job. That's what we do, right? And then along the way, we want to try to make what you're learning even easier and better. So can't thank you guys enough for being here. Thank you very much, Tony. I really appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to put a bonus with this. Sorry about the echo in the background when I'm speaking. I'm not quite sure what's happened. I'm going to put a bonus with this. I mentioned before that we had done a mini course for $1,000 a day. local workshops. Okay, what I'm going to do is give you access to that as a free course anyway, but I'm going to give you the WordPress out for local business. I'll give you 5 cent license if you buy the course, and I'll give you an extra 10 cent license if you buy the for your service. Okay, so I'll get a list of buyers from Gary or Patrick in the next few days, and then we will start to process those the access to WordPress Alpha for the local biz team. The local biz team has got 75 different business niches. But what's important to know is the $5,000 a day workshop. This works. Okay, this is very, very easy. You charge $500 a day, and you get 10 attendees. And if you can do that one time a month, you pay the bills. If you can do it every week, then you're in serious profit. Now, if you're going to upsell something like this,
now we're getting a lot of feedback behind you, Tony.
Very, very easy. We've got a lot of echo in the background.
Yeah, there's a lot of feedback. So if you want to just type a quick couple bullet points in the chat, that would probably be better.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Got it already. Well,
so we'll let Tony put those in there before we go. And 5 local business thing, DFY 10 sites, local business thing plus 5,000 a day workshop mini course. I want to be in there. Do I have to buy this to get in? All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for putting up with a couple of glitches at the beginning. This was an interesting test on a new system, but all in all, on a scale of 1 to 10, or how do you think we did with the glitches? We good? Give me anywhere from a 1 to a 10. What do we got? We got a 10. We got a 10, 10, 10. Oh, 11 and a 12. All right. Tony gives us an 11. All right, guys. Chuck's a 15. Eric's 11.
We really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's our report card. How you guys think about what we're able to share with you today. So hope to see you guys in the Skype room, and don't pass this up because everybody else is going to be buying it pretty soon. And you want to be the Lewis and Clark. They're the trailblazers. They trail they find the path that nobody else is going, and that's what we do. So you guys have a good day. Tony, appreciate it. Rod, thanks for your help. And
welcome.
Gary, great presentation today. Everybody here,